Kiddos, keep your minds clean. This video is for adults only. Viewer discretion is advised. Well, hello there, my friend. Welcome back to day 1 of 3 for this week. Not going to have 5 videos, 5 live streams this week. We're going to have 3. Today is the first one. And why, you ask? Because I am headed off on a trip to CrimeCon UK, which is taking place on Saturday and Sunday there in London. If you've got your tickets, hopefully I'll see you there. I'm going to be there with my wife, Kimberly, and it's going to be a fun time. But that's the reason why we have 3 videos today, or this week. And what we're doing today is we're talking about the case of Lily and Jack Sullivan, the 6- and 4-year-old siblings who went missing on May 2nd, 2025 in Nova Scotia, Canada. Before we get to that, though, guys, there is some good news, and I know you're talking about it in the chat over here, but there is happy news that Elisa Petrov has been found. She voluntarily walked herself into a police station in Colorado Springs, Colorado. We are extremely grateful that that is the case. I am looking forward to hearing nothing from her family about what happened during her disappearance, because I hope that they are given the privacy that they deserve. This was obviously a young woman who had some troubles, and I just deeply hope that she's able to work through them with her family and rejoin the rest of the world and be happy. So, but that is the good news. Now, the bad news is we still don't have any idea what has happened to Lily and Jack Sullivan. And the longer this goes and the more searches they do, I think the greater the likelihood is that we're probably not going to find them. Though I'm going to keep hope alive. I'm going to keep hope alive. So what I want to bring you today before our discussion is a couple things. We're going to revisit the app that the Lost Person Behavior app. I think I have that here. We're going to revisit this, and I'm sorry, it's a vertical thing, and this video really is formatted for horizontal, but we're going to revisit that. But before we do, we're actually going to head over to the RCMP's website and read the latest news, which came out yesterday. So yesterday, Sunday, June 1st, ground search continued today in Pictou County in support of ongoing missing persons investigation. Ground search efforts, there are a couple of little hints in here, by the way, guys. Ground search efforts were underway in the area of Gaelic Road, Lansdowne Station, as the missing persons investigation into the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan continues. 78 trained searchers from 9 ground search and rescue organizations, including Colchester County, Pictou County, Halifax, Strait Area, East Hants, Eastern Shore, Muscodoboit, Dubois, I don't know how to say that one, Valley, Pugwash, and Eastern Shore were engaged today in an effort to advance the ongoing investigation and locate Lily and Jack. Searchers continue to focus on specific areas around Gaelic Road and the nearby pipeline where a boot print was previously located. We've heard that news before. Now a total of 8.5 square kilometers has been grid searched. So they've added another 60% or so. My math is not all that great, but about 60%. They've expanded the search area about 60% and have completely searched it. The search was supported by Nova Scotia Public Safety Field Communications and EHS Emergency Preparedness Special Operations. The Nova Scotia RCMP would like to thank all the search and rescue volunteers who have dedicated more than 10,000 hours of their time searching in very challenging conditions to help find Lily and Jack and support the missing persons investigation. Any future searches will be determined based based on the course of the investigation. By the way, if we go over to my website and click on CrimeCod, that will take you and I over to crimecod.com, which is my true crime website. We can see that Jake, where'd it go? Man, it was up here. You know what? Oh, there we go. It's right in front of my face. We can see that Jake has been hard at it over the weekend, writing up on all sorts of cases, including the Sullivan kids. We've also been talking about them over on the Fish Tank. If you are on Facebook, join us over in the Fish Tank. You are welcome here. But this is where we chat about all things true crime. This might be something that we get into. So that's where we're at, guys. The search parameters have been expanded. They've now grid searched 8.5 square kilometers. That does not mean 8.5 kilometers long by 8.5 kilometers wide. That would be something like 64 square kilometers. But 8.5 square kilometers. My guess is they're going along the pipeline trail, so it's probably a narrow search area, but very long. Now, I want to come back over to this app, the Lost Persons app, or the Lost Person Behavior app. This is an app that we know that they have used based on reports out of Nova Scotia. I just want to revisit a couple of things. If we go into categories here and we take a look at age 4 to 6, there are a couple of things that we need to look at. I want to go over to stats, okay? The way this one works, as I read it, 95% of cases, missing persons are located within 6.6 kilometers of where they went missing. That's their distance traveled. Only about a quarter are 0.2 kilometers. So it does stand to reason to me, and these are statistics that were put together by the creator of this app, who I have to remember his name, Robert Kester. He's an active search and rescue guy since 1981. He literally wrote the book on it. Going back into stats here, it stands to reason that they'd be widening their search. It's shocking to me that the kiddos could make it that far. If we look at mountainous, it changes a little bit. It goes out to 3.7 kilometers. It kind of feels like that area is kind of in between mountainous and flat. Couple things. It does seem like it splits evenly uphill, downhill, or the same. Their mobility, what is this? 46 records, temperate areas. I don't actually understand that viz. What do we have? Percent of cases with degrees offset. Oh yeah, this one is one that's really interesting to me. It's the where are they found? Inside structures, on roads, in a linear direction of where they are, in the woods, in water, in drainage, field, scrub, brush, and rock. So I'm certain that they searched all of the structures and the house looking for these children and didn't find them because most of the time, well, a third of the time looks like, it's the greatest percentage-wise, they're found within structures. Out of the scenarios lost, which is what we have here, in wilderness areas, most of them are found uninjured. Only 4% are found to have suffered a fatality, and 2% are no trace. Now, what are we? We are 4 weeks. It's a month today. They went missing on May 2nd. And I think the longer it goes, the more likely that we're going to see fatality or no trace, which just disturbs me. This last one, when they've been gone for over 96 hours, the survivability rate is 0%. So, I mean, not a lot to be positive about here. However, we did just have the positive news that Elisa Petrov made it home. We know that, why am I blanking? We know that Jade Wu made it home. Of course, these are teenagers that were runaways. This seems like a very, very different scenario, these two little kiddos. Let me bring this up, okay? If you were in the area, or maybe even not, under an abduction scenario, they could be anywhere. Just look at these kiddos and see if you recognize their faces. And if you do, call Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS, 800-222-8477. All right, let's see what you guys are saying over here. Let's do this. Bonnie T, do you think this is so suspicious as I do? When the mom left, I felt I could never do that. I'd stay away from where they first went missing. Yeah, I mean, for me, the longer the time goes by, the more suspicious it is. I'm certain that police, I mean, that is in textbook investigation. The close family members, the close friends, the parents, those are going to be the first suspects. They're going to interview, they're going to try to trip them up, they're going to try to see if their story changes. The fact that there hasn't been an arrest here, that lends to the idea that they don't have anything to arrest them for yet. I'm starting, since they've now covered so much ground, they've done so many searches, and they've allegedly, apparently, reportedly, a couple slashes in between there, allegedly / apparently / reportedly, have done a polygraph test with Daniel Martel, the stepfather. He apparently is not at the top of their suspect list anymore, or at least that's how it seems. And investigators are being very tight-lipped about it, as they should, so we don't really know these things. It is kind of sus to me that Malia Brooks Murray would leave the area, but I can also come up with a lot of different reasons why she would. The most suspicious thing here is that they are not found, right? Getting back to the stats again, let me go. 90% of children are found uninjured, and it is done within the first, 24 hours, right? So, yeah, well, 98%, they have a 98% survival rate if they're found within the first 24 hours. So my mind races on this. What are some of the possibilities? I try to cut through the fluff and the sensationalism here, guys, but we don't have a lot to go on in here. My suspicion, there are two ways that this could go. Number one is they died, their lives were taken, and they were discarded somewhere where nobody has thought to look yet, or no evidence has pointed anywhere else to look. And I think that we would have seen police activity at the landfill, for example, or, as they're looking at all of these trail cameras and ring cameras and dash cameras, you would think that they would look in a place where they may have been discarded. I don't think that in a scenario like this, they would be discarded behind the house where they are searching. So that to me seems less probable. The higher probability to me right now is an abduction probability. The only thing that, well, the major thing that kind of contradicts that is the fact that they keep looking in that same area. It's tough. It's a tough case. April says, thank you for your content. Well, it is my pleasure. I'm glad that we're all together doing this. This is a case that is just as sad as it is tragic. Bonnie, I do not know specifically if cadaver dogs were brought in. That has not been a report that I have read. One of the really good websites to go to on this is crimetimelines.com. I'll bring it up for you here. It's loading a little slowly, but I come here and I check on this pretty frequently because they have new sources as things happen. And if you haven't gone through this timeline, it's pretty remarkable. The people at Crime Timeline do a very good job of not letting people know who they are. They're doing a really good job. But yeah, actually, it doesn't look like the latest one is up there, so they haven't updated in a couple of days. But definitely check Crime Timelines. I think that if it had been reported that cadaver dogs had been brought in, it would probably be there. Is it Eraser? Didn't the dad say they would not cross the road? Have they searched for them on the other side of the road? When we listened to the dispatch, they were dividing up the area, right? The helicopter on one side of the road and the drone on the other. So I do think that they have searched on the other side of the road. And yeah, it's if I was a kid, your baby Gavin would attract me to watch. It is a you're right. It might be time to retire, baby Gavin. Remy's stuff. Oh, let's bring up our victims here. Was CPS involved prior to this? I have read in reports that there have been interactions with Child Protective Service, Children and Youth Services, but I don't know what the timeline was, if it was before or after. Let me see if I can find anything here. Yeah, I don't see anything specifically about that anywhere, so I don't know. It may have been rumor. At this point, it's very difficult for me to distinguish between rumor and report, so I don't know. Lexi says, Gavin, they say the kids were spotted on Thursday with family members, but they never say which one. Yeah, they're very careful about the privacy. So I haven't seen any official reports that say which family members they were with. Gavin, I wonder if they got hit by a car and someone took them and drove off. That's a scary scenario. I feel like there would have been some evidence pointing to that, though. Maybe I've been watching too many like Taylor Sheridan shows where people can just look at the ground and see things like that. But to me, it does seem like there would be some evidence of that. I feel like more likely is a scenario where they're just on the road and they're taken. It's tough. Did I miss a... It refreshed. Did I miss a... There it is. From Broke. Thank you for the super chat. Broke says, during the first announcement calling off this search, the spokesman slipped and said they are looking for bodies. I don't think that they even slipped. That spokesman said we would not expect them to be out here this long and still be living. So, yeah, when they're out there looking in the woods, they're looking for bodies. For sure. 100%. Do you think maybe the kids found some drugs in the house and died? So that happens in reality. That's happened in my area. I've been the reporter that has reported on that stuff. I can think of 2 cases right now that are like that. Typically speaking, in those cases, the parents, if it was an accident, in those cases, at least in my experience, the parents try to somehow pretend that it wasn't that, but still report it. Like they go to the hospital with their kids and stuff like that. I have not seen any, I haven't seen any indication that Malia and Daniel are addicts. It's possible that they are. I typically can spot this kind of thing. And it doesn't look that way to me. But again, I'm not a professional on that. I don't know. So I would say that is a possibility. I just think that's probably lower on the probability scale. Lori Green says, Gavin, maybe with all the searchers and police around, and I don't know if they have a liaison officer, maybe with the baby, there's too much going on and mom moved out. Yeah, it's possible. And there are rumors about her being kicked out and her cutting him off on social media. Those rumors may be true. They may not be true. So I don't know. But there are a lot of proper, perfectly explainable reasons why she would not be there. But it also adds a little bit to the suspicion, doesn't it? I mean, we can't ignore that. Hilson House of Crazy. Gavin, no disrespect implied, but don't think Daniel has ever been to a trash dump in his life. Meaning as far as like they burn their trash and stuff like that out where they are in the rural area. Is that what I'm kind of getting from that comment? I mean, I'm taking it respectfully. Typically when a body is found in a landfill, it usually didn't get there by the person. Usually they find some kind of dumpster or some other way to to discard the remains, and then they end up in the landfill, typically. Carmel Alvarado says, I believe the smallest mass can be the bigger the scream, the loudest the lie. The smallest mass can be the bigger the scream, the loudest the lie. I am not following. I'm feeling a little thick tonight. My skull is maybe a little thick. The smallest mask. Carmel, I'd love for you to interpret that for me. I've never heard that saying. But yeah, I'd love to know what you mean by that. Let's Melissa Esquivel says, don't retire baby Gavin. He's adorable. I mean, eventually this whole trend of babies is going to be over. Please don't retire baby fish. All right. We won't for now. Do we know what life in the wild, do we know what the wildlife is like out there? Well, it's the Northeast. I would imagine it's very similar to what the wildlife is in the northeast of the United States. I'd imagine bears and wolves. I don't know about, I would imagine those would be the apex predators in the area, bears and wolves. That's my guess. Young Black Economist, this is a great comment. I'm glad I spotted it. Both parents also not blaming each other, at least not publicly. That is true. I haven't seen that anywhere. That is a great comment. No retiring baby fish. All right. Annabelle Roma says, Gavin, supposedly Daniel said it was him and Malia, but he wouldn't disclose where they were because of the case. Rumor of Walmart, hearsay stuff. Oh, the kids were seen with him and Malia? Okay. Oh, I think you're right. I think I did remember that report, him saying that. I don't want to, he said something like, I don't want to expand on it because it might hurt the investigation or something. Boy for Mom says, stepdad said in a report that yes, they were in town with the kids. Him, the mom, the baby, and Jack and Lily. Okay, good. Thank you for clarifying that. S. Baumgartner says, Gavin, biggest red flag. Daniel saying Malia planned to stay with him. His cousin would look after Meadow. Then Cindy Murray, mother, talked to Malia for 5 minutes Saturday and she left Daniel immediately. That was at the press conference, I guess. That is the description that I have heard happened, but I have not read that on a report. By the way, if you have a report that you can share with me, I would love it. Go to gavinfish.com. There's always a link down below. Click on this little icon right there. I think down at the bottom I have a contact too. But either way, that will take you over to this little form. And I get everything that you send me, guys. I get it all. I don't respond to... I respond to the minority of it because I get so much of it, but I read them all. So if you have any reports that you want me to read, I would deeply appreciate the extra information. And by the way, I have a merry little band of helpers and researchers, all volunteer, that help me, and we have a Slack channel. So if you are good at doing Freedom of Information Act requests, Freedom of Information Law requests, Sunshine requests, public records requests, all that kind of stuff. If you're good at kind of gleaning information from the internet, you're good at that sort of stuff, and you would like to join our merry little band, you can reach out to me this way as well. And I will put a member of my team in contact with you. Okay? All right. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Why is the RCMP so sure the children were not abducted at the end of the driveway? Maybe Lily got herself and Jack ready for school and walked out towards the street. I think that's possible. In fact, it kind of feels with this family that the kiddos are kind of self-parenting in a lot of ways. Not in all ways, but there's some people, especially when there's a baby, that they have a hard time with everybody. And it does feel a little bit like Lily and Jack kind of self-parented a little bit. And when I see interviews like this one where they say specific things in answer to questions that I don't think were asked, like we never let them go outside alone, I kind of, my BS meter kind of starts to ping, So it's possible. Now, Wolf at the Table, why is the RCMP so sure the children were not abducted? I don't know that is the case. They might be, they might suspect an abduction, but I think that in order to go through the proper investigation technique. They've got to keep going down different avenues of investigation until one proves to be fruitful. I'm feeling a little defensive of the RCMP. Maybe I shouldn't, but I feel like they're doing a pretty good job here. They're certainly putting in the effort. That's just my opinion. Hilson House, yes, they don't appear to take things to the dump or the landfill. Yeah, that looks like a wood pile in front. That kind of looks like I'm looking for a burn pile. I see bee boxes. I don't see a burn pile or a burn barrel, but again, these are just some of the pictures that, there's a burn barrel right there, right behind the house. So yeah, you can tell with the oxidation, by the way, that likely is a burn barrel. So yeah, maybe you're right. My point still stands, though. Could they have driven into town? Could they have dumped the child or children into a dumpster or other container, tried to hide them that way? I doubt that he would actually go to the landfill itself. Lexi says the fact the mom changed her relationship status to single and never made a Facebook post for help for looking for the children is also a little suspicious. I want to verify that is true. Give me just a second, because as of a couple of days ago, her social media was active. I remember going there. Give me just 1 second. You guys just look at these beautiful little faces while I'm looking for that in our Slack channel. Give me just a second. Because I did go to her let's see, Leah Brooks Murray. Huh? Yeah, that does say single. It does. I haven't seen anything. She hasn't posted anything publicly since May 4th. That's a little suspicious. Yeah. Good point. Great comment, Lexi. Thank you for that comment. I don't know when she changed it. Let's see if I know that it is set to single. I just don't see when she changed it to single. Let's see if there are filters where I could do that. No filters, because I'm not a friend. But I don't. Is it possible? Just playing devil's advocate here. Is it possible that her Facebook status was always single, or did she change it? It definitely says single. Definitely. Rebecca says, I'm confused about biodad. Usually the non-custodial parent is closely scrutinized as a person of interest, nor has he come forward with a statement. Let's see if ChatGPT can answer that one for us. Lily and Jack Sullivan, who is the bio father, and let's just do that. Who's the bio father? Let's see if I can find it for us. Cody Lee Sullivan. According to According to available information, he has had no contact with the children and is not involved in their lives. The children were living with Malia Brooks Murray and her partner Daniel Martell. Following the children's disappearance, Brooks Murray left the area with their infant sibling and has since had no contact with Martell, according to Reddit. So, let me see who has done a little information on the... I will do a little information on Cody Lee Sullivan, okay? I haven't done any digging into that. But I'll see if I can get something. Maybe my research crew can help me with that as well. Great comment. I hadn't given it a second thought, actually. You guys are sometimes, most of the time, you're just steps ahead of me. Tammy says bears, wolves, fox, coyotes, wildcats, deer, moose. So are wildcats what we would call mountain lions? Like, I'm from the Rocky Mountain West. We had mountain lions all over the place. I'm guessing that's what a wildcat is. Looks like lynx and bobcat in Nova Scotia as well. Coyotes as well. Yeah, bobcats, bears, coyotes. Carmel, I do believe that Cody Lee Sullivan is both of the children's fathers. From the way I understand it, Mr. Martell has 2 children from a previous relationship. Ms. Brooks Murray has the 2 children, Lily and Jack, from previous relationship, and then they have the daughter together. This case sounds like the Sebastian Rogers Madeline Soto case. Man, if it turns out that it is Mr. Martell, I mean, I guess I won't be shocked. That would be the number one suspect, but he has done a pretty darn good job of not being the Chris Watts kind of guy or the Stephen Stearns kind of guy. Oh, Louisa, thank you very much for saying that. I was supposed to announce that and was so excited about Elisa Petrov's return. But yes, they had a candlelight vigil that they started at the same time as this live stream. I'm glad to hear that Daniel was there, and I'll get some coverage of that. Kelsey, who is one of my reporters, one of my research team, I believe. Is that you, Kelsey? Says, from my research, BioDad is in trouble with the law. From the research I've done, I will research it for us, though, and post in Slack. Perfect. It is our Kelsey. News report says BioFather has ankle bracelet, nothing else. Yeah, and in Canada, it's very difficult to get criminal records. Buried in the chicken coop. I think that searchers would have found that. I really do. Like, I realize that chickens scratching around in a chicken run might camouflage things a little bit, but I feel like that would be discovered pretty quickly. But it's possible. It's possible. Rhonda says, nope, she changed her Facebook status to single a few days into the search, along with deleting all photos of Daniel. That is pretty suspicious. Let's bring our kiddos back up. Yeah, I haven't seen a GoFundMe page. Susan says, the thing that bothers me is that the parents said the kids knew they weren't to go outside without supervision, and yet they did. Why did they disobey all of a sudden? Yeah, that is a pretty suspicious story. And for me, it seems like they're telling us things that I don't believe were questions that were asked. In fairness, we didn't hear the questions that were asked. But it just kind of feels like, hey, this is an extra little thing about us. We're good parents, kind of a thing, kind of a slip. You know what I mean? Hilton House of Crazy says, changed shortly after leaving him. Okay. keep scrolling here. It just refreshed on me. Thunder Maiden is the mother there at the vigil. I'll have to see. I doubt it. Heart Roll. We live in a rural but part of Ontario, and we have wolves that come out at night. Yeah. I have not heard the interview, Nanny 1981, of Daniel's cousin. If you can find it, please send it my way. Just go over to gavinfish.com again and shoot it my way using this page. That little button right there will get you to this page. Okay? I would love to hear that. Maybe. Wolf at the table. Biodata has pending criminal theft charges. Daniel even said they wouldn't go outside in the rain and cold. They didn't like it. Daniel said he and the mother were with all the kids on May 1st. So if they were happy-go-lucky, I mean, maybe they broke up and they were just still kind of going through the logistics of the breakup. But if they were out with each other, with the children, on May 1st, and then all of a sudden the children go missing and she goes into hiding and she changes her relationship status and everything like that, that does point to some suspicion in Daniel's direction. 100%. 100%. All right, guys. I mean, I think that's wow, what just happened there? I think that's a pretty good place to stop our conversation tonight. I am very hopeful that something will be found. Something will be found. I hope. I mean, sometimes you think, like, I remember interviewing John, I can't remember how to pronounce his name, Gehrman, and Jade Wu about Aubrey Wu, and thinking there's no way this child is coming back. And within a few weeks, child was there. And I didn't say this out loud, but with Elisa Petrov, I was like, oh my goodness, she is in Istanbul by now. I thought she was being trafficked somewhere. Nope, Colorado Springs, walked into a police department. So there is hope. There's hope here, and we shouldn't give up hope. We'll be back tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. That's when we do these little live streams of ours. Hey, for those of you keeping track, we've got a growing community here. I wanted to thank you. This is our first live stream since the end of May. We set records in May. For me, we had something like 1.8 million views happen in May. I can look at this real quick and tell you. So yeah, in May we had 1,798,594 views. We had 398,000 watch hours, 10,891 new subscribers. That is the best month we've ever had by all metrics here on the channel. I think it is a testament of the help that I'm getting, which has been amazing, with the people volunteering to research and get me information on cases. I'm deeply appreciative of that. It probably has something to do with the cases that are really important in the public attention right now, like Lily and Jack. They're super important to all of us. So there's definitely that. But I wanted to just say thank you. May was an amazing, record-breaking month, and I really appreciate it. June is going to be a little different because I'm going to be gone for about a week out of June. I have prepared some videos that are going to be dropping while I'm gone. So, and then Kimberly and I will be posting to like Instagram and Facebook and here on the channel as well. So we won't be completely out of sight, out of mind. But anyway, I just wanted to say thanks. It's been fun. It's been a really fun month. May was amazing. I was really tired. I'll say that. How many how many pieces of content did I make in May? How many live streams we do? I think we did. I think we did 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We made 20, which is every weekday of May. Which is pretty cool. Anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Join us over on the Fish Tank on Facebook if that is your thing. Also, don't forget Crime Cod. Join us over on Crime Cod. Sign up for the newsletter. That is down here. Also, the first time you log into Crime Cod or visit Crime Cod, it is going to pop up and show you that. And then again, click on over here on my website, click Support Me, and scroll on down to the bottom. And please buy Autumn a coffee. She takes care of us. She is our lead moderator. She's a mod wrangler, and she does amazing, amazing work. So don't do it if you can't. No guilt, no pressure. But if you want to, and if you feel she deserved it, go for it. I feel like she deserved it. I'm just saying. All right, with that, I will bid you adieu, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.